Hey everyone, this is Jonathan Bales. I'm at FantasyLabs looking at player models, and I want to show you some of the new data that we have for NFL this season. The metrics that we have are obviously very important to the models. Everything runs on getting good data, and we work with as many different suppliers of data as we can so that not only can you model it, but especially for NFL, just being able to visualize a lot of the things. Some of the stats are really good for modeling and being predictive. Some can be predictive in certain instances, but maybe aren't the best to use as sliders within the model, so you can look at a lot of these things. So just going to briefly run through each position, some of the new things that we have. Number one, which I'll get into more, but ownership projections, and pretty excited about that. So we'll have ownership projections for every player each week on DraftKings and on FanDuel. We also have adjusted yards per attempt is a new stat that we have in models for quarterbacks just to help quantify their quality of play. The percentage of passes that they throw to running backs, receivers, and tight ends, I think you'll find is maybe a bit underrated, especially when we're trying to figure out volatility. And then red zone stats for every player, which I think is very important. Opportunities per game over the past year, past month, inside the 5, inside the 10, things like that. We have that for every player, so you'll see that for running backs as well as their success rate. Success rate is a new stat. It's basically a measure of how often a player's, when they touch the ball, how often it increases the win probability of their team, and it's a really good stat for running backs in particular. And so in addition to that, we have for running backs and pass catchers market share stats, which are numbers that show the percentage of stats that they have on their team. So David Johnson, 36.4% rushing TD market share, means that over the period that we're looking at, he had 36.4% of the Cardinals' rushing touchdowns. Again, ownership projections, same thing for receivers. You're going to see those market share stats. We're also going to see stats like yards per target, which I think is a really interesting sort of number when you're looking at guys who maybe weren't getting playing time but now are. So you can see how efficient they were on a per target basis. We also have yards per route and yards per snap behind the scenes as well, which you can find in trends. And then for defense, some new hurry data, and we're working with Pro Football Focus on that, so getting every hurry from every game. And really predictive and useful, and we're creating a metric called expected sacks based off of that. So being able to match up the exact offensive line and the rate at which they allow hurries, and then the exact defense, how often they get to the quarterback, and then we can predict how many hurries the defense will have in that game, and then how many sacks you can expect based on that hurry rate. So I think that's going to be very, very a very useful stat as we head into NFL this year. But that's some of the stuff that we're working on. There's some other unique data that I will be able to show in a different video of a tool that's about to come out. So yeah, play around with the stuff, and I hope you like it.